Today I want to talk about Barry Alvarez and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a stat mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about outgoing athletic director at University of Wisconsin, Barry Alvarez, who announced today that he is going to retire at the end of the fiscal year, June 30th, 2021. And this brings to an end not just Barry Alvarez's career in college football and in athletics, but really the end of an era. I want to get into what that means here in just a bit. But let's start with this. In Alvarez's 18 seasons as AD, right, the first 18 seasons, Wisconsin finished among the top 30 in the NOCTA Directors Cup 15 times, including 16 place finishes in 2006-07, 2016-17, 2018-19. 6 different programs have won national titles during Alvarez's tenure, including 4 in the magical 2005-2006 season. 14 different teams have been crowned as conference champions, including 5 in each of the 05-06, 06-07, 07-08, 12-13, and 14-15 seasons, right? He's also overseen more than $150 million in donations to the university over the past 10 years. Not too shabby. Break that down. That's about $15 million a year that he is getting out of people's pockets as the athletic director at Wisconsin. And for me, Barry Alvarez represents one of the last coaches to take over a program that was sorry, if not downright bad, and flip it into what many of y'all know to be a perennial, not power, but puncher, right? They're going to punch enough to get into the Big Ten West Championship game. They're going to punch enough to get into the Rose Bowl. They're going to punch enough to give us Monty Ball and Melvin Gordon and Jonathan Taylor and James White. They're going to put out outstanding offensive linemen. They're going to be pretty doggone good, if not right up there winning national championships. And Barry Alvarez is the reason that we get to say that in my lifetime. Transformed Wisconsin in 1990 when he was named the head coach. What was once a department that was in debt and struggling to get fans really behind it at all, competed for Big Ten championships and was nationally recognized with brand name awareness. I know that there are a lot of Wisconsin fans. I know a couple personally that I work with that know what that means, right? It's the same thing for like Big 12 fans. Wisconsin wasn't as bad as Kansas State when Snyder took it over because nobody was as bad as Kansas State ever, except perhaps Rutgers when Snyder took it over and turned it into the kind of program that you hear about that is nationally recognized, that has some sway, like Alvarez did with Wisconsin. And that's what that means to me is like I've always thought of Wisconsin as running back you. I've thought of Wisconsin as Ron Dane because, like, that's what you really got to think about. They go from being bad to putting a Heisman Trophy winner on the podium. That's not anything too shabby. And then we're talking about him as a head coach, and I feel like I got to give the man his flowers on this as well. During his tenure at Madison, or in Madison, I should say, the Badgers team played 26 games in bowls, right? So 26 bowl games, including Big Ten's best 19 straight. So that's better than Ohio State. And won 6 Big Ten titles. One of just 16 football coaches in Big Ten history to win at least 100 games at one school. When Alvarez retired in 2005, he was the all-time winningest coach in school history at a record of 119, 74, and 4. 3 Big Ten titles, 3 Rose Bowl wins, voted the state into the state's Athletic Hall of Fame and into the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame in 2009, College Football Hall of Fame, UW Athletics Hall of Fame in 2010, and the Orange Bowl Hall of Fame in 2016. And I want to just go back for a little bit because I kind of glossed over here, but this is the thing in that I think if you're a Wisconsin fan, you will lord over the Big Ten and particularly Ohio State forever. Y'all have the longest run of going to bowl games of anybody in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten has been around since the 19th century, right? That means, among other things, stayed out of trouble, right? As much as we give Ohio State all the credit in the world for carrying the Big Ten and for being the jewel of the Big Ten and really being a blue blood, one of the class programs of the sport, them putting their foot in their mouths and really tripping themselves up is the reason why Wisconsin is able to claim that. Now, we'll see what the Ryan Day, right, era brings us. But when you look at Wisconsin, you don't see a team really getting into trouble. You don't see a team that is constantly fighting sanctions. You don't see a team that's also competing for the best players in the country. They are exactly what many college football fans think of when they say, hey, we want to be good. We don't want to suck. They recruit players that fit them, as they say. You're not going to go get the Jamar Chases of the world. You're not going to go get the Justin Fields of the world, but you're going to be plenty good. And you're going to know what your identity is. You're going to go what the fit is. And in college football, as much as any other sport, the fit is the most important part of the program. If you believe in the culture believes in you, you believe this is a home, and you value the way that they want to go and win football games and develop talent, then you're going to win more than you lose. Other programs that fit into this for me are those that you look around and you're like, hey, it's okay to be just that second tier, like Auburn, who, I guess doesn't fit because they won a national championship, but they come to my mind. North Carolina right now, presently, they come to my mind. Virginia, right, is another that comes to my mind. And I'm sure there are others that we can think of that you would want to include. I know some folks have Iowa in there. Some folks now have Iowa State in there. But that's what Wisconsin has become, and I think that's who Wisconsin wants to be. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Barry Alvarez is choosing to retire right before name, image, and likeness becomes a real thing that he and others have to hustle around, because I think of the changing landscape around college athletics the same way I think about recruiting. It's a young man's game. You got to want to do it. If you got your money and you got your esteem and you got your flowers like Barry Alvarez or even Roy Williams at North Carolina, now is the time to get up out. Now is the time to be like, nah, I'm going to go tell my grandson to go away. I need to watch this football game. Deuces.